And them life lessons is what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
All the different things that people have experienced along the way, the drug addiction, alcohol addiction. Like some of these guys I've interviewed, the stuff I've learned from them is insane.
Yeah.
The advice, the knowledge, the experience, the hardship. And the goal is to just someone that's out there experiencing this stuff, that they also learn from that. So they don't have to go down that road.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks for having me here.
We're going to grab the nerves and throw them outside the window.
Yeah, fear's not going to stop me today. So,
Do appreciate you coming on and giving me your time, and shout out to Jarvis. How do you know Jarvis?
I met, well, Jarvis was in Odyssey House, but we were there at different times. I think they overlapped. Like he was just leaving as I started my journey there. And then we reconnected at the About Time for Connection event. I volunteered to give back to community, you know. I feel that fills my cup. That's important, to stay connected and do good things for other people going through what I've already come like I'm on the other side of that now.
What does it make you feel good when you give back?
I think you go through life, everyone takes from you, you know, and sometimes they take so much that you forget to be able to fill your own cup, to then be able to pour from a full cup and give the best version of yourself to others, rather than someone that's, you know, 10 steps back. And, you know, I for every step forward, sometimes it is 10 steps back. However, I'm learning that to just push through it. And once you push through that, here you are, you know.
What is the greatest lesson you've learned in life?
To be the reason somebody smiles. You know, there's so many people out there going through so many hard times, which is another thing. Like I work through Choose My Hard now. So, but yeah, there's so many people going through hard times that, you know, it doesn't cost you anything to smile at someone or to say good morning and have them smile back. Sometimes it could be the only smile that they see for the day.
Do you think we've lost that touch with humanity?
Yeah, I really do. Like you can walk down the street and everyone's got their hands in their phone, and you know, people don't take that time.
Yeah.
And look, 2 seconds of your time to walk past someone in the morning and say good morning, or you know, hello, how are you? And you don't get that. Very rarely do you get that.
Technology is amazing, but also a curse.
Yeah. I see it with my kids at the minute. You know, I have to make sure that I regulate their screen time so that we can sit at the dinner table, and have some interaction, communication, because communication is a big part of advancing and moving your way forward. The amount of trouble I've seen on the screens with my kids, like you need to limit it.
How important is it now to connect with your children in this day and age?
Well, for me, you know, with like I said, I'm a mum of 5 going through the addiction. I lost my kids for 5 years, my 3 youngest, to the system. So, and throughout that, like I was communicating my will and my determination to get them back and have them home. But I was just jumping through loops. So it forced them to not trust or believe in what I was saying to be true. Now I've had them back for 5 years. It's now, well, coming on 5 years. Might be 4, sorry. But yeah, I'm big on communication and speaking out our feelings, and obviously having to build that trust back up for them. So
A lot of kids, I've been talking to a few people, a lot of kids are really disconnected from their parents. It's very sad. They can't open up whether they have an addiction or going through trauma or problems. It's a strange one.
yeah, it's look, My kids, I'm pretty blessed, I must say.
Mm.
You know, they're all homebodies. Sometimes they overshare information. You know, like my 25-year-old son will tell me things, and I'll be like, "Mate, there are
Don't,
just
don't
some,
tell me.
yeah, there are some things you just don't tell your mother." You know, like that's just the bottom line. But you
Yeah.
know what? I've created that space, and I guess for for them, but for me as a child, I wasn't heard,
Mm.
wasn't listened to. The communication wasn't there, and you know, like I don't blame my mum for that or my dad, but at the end of the day, you know, I was brought up children should be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I'll work the other end of that scale. Like children should be heard, and it's not seen. But you know, like my son, my 13-year-old's in his room 95% of the time on a PlayStation.
Mm.
Um, my 25-year-old, he's off to work doing the same thing. But as soon as they're willing to open up and have that conversation, I'm there all ears and trying to work, navigate ways to try and see them through whatever it is.
Tell me about your journey.
So for me, I was sexually abused from age 6 to 15, in the home. My mum's husband, because my parents separated when I was younger. I spoke up about that a couple of times, and I wasn't believed. It was, he went around to family members and he said that, you know, I was lying, and um, don't listen to the stories that obviously I've made up in my head, um, which was hard because I was isolated, I'm still building through the trust issues from that because I find it hard to trust people. It's on a show me versus tell me. And then I moved out of home and went and lived with my grandparents for a while. And then they passed away. So, you know, as you're growing up, you sort of go through another roller coaster of, okay, this is what happened to me. And in within the childhood stuff, um, the thing that probably got me through that was having a good imagination.
Really?
I could probably take myself away from what was happening to a place where I wish I could be, or um, I've been thinking on that a lot lately, like how did I get through that?
That's very fascinating, especially as a young person.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what were you imagining?
Oh, you know, running through long grass,
Mm.
nice sunshine, flowers. You know, um, being with other families in where I felt loved, protected, and connected, not not unprotected and not listened to. You know, living with my dad and, you know, being raised by him. Just it. I can't go right into all of it because it's only now starting to surface for me. How did I get through that?
Did you say that was your coping mechanism for
Yeah,
what you've gone through?
100%, 100%. And justice would prevail. You know, I used to always think one day you're going to go to jail for this, one day you're going to get caught. And it took me 38 years, but he's in jail.
38 years.
38 years. He's in jail for 13 years for um,
Crimes.
historical child sexual assault.
That's a long time. 38 years. The pain being in your heart.
Yeah, 38 years of, you know, toxic relationships, you know, in and out of employment, drug addiction.
That's a long time.
Probably 10 years of, you know, good times throughout that with the father of my kids, you know, because I've got 5 beautiful children. We were together for 17 years. There was family violence there, but, you know, for me, I'd been through that as a child, so that's what I felt that I deserved until one day I realised I didn't.
I'm just thinking about the 38 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, and, you know, 38 years, so he took me to trial after that. He took me to trial to still say that I was lying, that it was all fabricated, but there was a substantial amount of evidence throughout. And I think the thing that did bring it more into like the eyes of everybody was that he'd offended again. And like, I won't go into where and who and how, because that's not my story to tell. But the fact that he offended again within our immediate family
It's time to stop.
was what got the ball rolling for the whole truth to come out.
And, you know, my father used to tell me, saying, the string of lying is very short. There's only so much you can lie before it ends.
Yeah.
You know, the truth eventually always comes out.
Yeah.
It could be 10 years, 20 years, but it's going to come out. And it's good that... Would you say you're at peace now?
Oh, when we went to court and I had to stand up and testify, I felt like the weight of the world lift off my shoulders, and I was proud of myself because I'd done it sober.
How did you feel looking at him, you know, and seeing him?
I felt sick, like, but in saying that too, like, I don't remember seeing him much. Like, I guess because as a kid, you put that wall up where I see you, but I'm not looking at you.
You're no longer here,
sense.
almost in like a different dimension.
Yeah, yep. I know you're there, but I just, I can't.
Sickening, you know, it's strange. It's a strange one because it's such a disgusting crime, beyond disgusting. You know, what goes through some of these minds of these sick people.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the question is, you know, is 13 years enough?
Me personally,
You know?
I would have loved to have seen life, but unfortunately in Australia, we don't have tough laws to protect the innocent. And that is, that is a fact. Even in Australia, we don't have tough enough laws.
You were talking about the system early on. What did you feel about the system that let you down in the early days?
Lack of support, lack of understanding and compassion. I begged for help. I begged to be connected in the right areas so that my children weren't removed from me. Childhood, going back to being, I wasn't so much in the system, but I had psychologists. I had, social workers coming out to the house. What didn't I do or say enough of for them to take action back then? For someone to actually listen. Did they listen? Did I express myself enough in a way that, well, clearly no one listened, because it took me to leave home for it to stop.
Where did the addiction start?
The addiction started probably when I was about 17. Yeah, 17. When I finished high school, I thought, what's next?
How was your childhood in school? That would have had a massive impact.
I was always at school because it was my safe space. And then there were times where obviously I was too sick to go because it had nowhere to go in the body. I would just, so my outlet then was reading, fairy tale books and whatever young girls do. But look, I've been pretty strong and determined not to let it beat me throughout life, even though at times it did. I sat, I finished my VCE. Wasn't the best of scores, but it was...
You're masking it pretty well.
Yeah, it was something that I could accomplish. And the mask probably only fell off 4 or 5 years ago.
Whoa.
Like, I'd told my story, but so when I was with my kid's dad, good person, just, the way it works out, unfortunately, and violent at times too. But he used to, so I confided in him of my childhood, and he kind of used to throw that back in my face. And so it just forced me to stay quiet, like I said, until my stepdad offended again. And I thought, you know what? This is it. It's either now or never. So yeah, that's what started that ball rolling.
It's a long time to be masking it.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'll still have moments now where I'm unsure, but I don't let the fear or that uncertainty stop me. I just keep going.
How do you look at fear now?
Push through it. Do it. Just do it. You know, if I'm scared to do it, then I look at the energy. If it's like a fearful or a nervous energy, and then I force myself to do it, even if I don't want to. I just get up, because at the end of it is the reward. You know, you're so grateful you've done it. You're usually buzzing from whatever energy, because whatever you fear it's on the other side of action. You take action against it, and that fear slowly dissipates.
What kind of, when you started your addiction, what was the kickoff for addiction? Where you just, you had finished school at that point. Was it the wrong crowd, or were you just really suffering?
Yeah,
'Cause addiction's a funny one.
I just wanted to block it out. And I've never really been able to connect to people. So you say it was probably the connection with people in addiction too. One, oh yeah, it's the connection as well, because you've got these trust barriers up, and then when you're high, it's like everything goes out the window, and then you've got connection with people that are also, when you're listening to them tell their story, they also come from trauma. So then you have that trauma bond. Yeah.
What grabbed you?
I had marijuana was my starter, and then 10 years on ice.
Ice is an interesting one. Everyone that I've spoken to about ice is just, it clamps onto you. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and that's to say I've been sober 5 years, or coming up 5 years. That's to say that when I'm having a really bad time trying to navigate through something, my brain will instantly still go to, all right, I've got to get on.
even 5 years later.
5 years later, but the tools and the work that I've done say, no, just ride through this, do something else. And within, I'll say 5 minutes, that thought's gone.
Ice, yeah, ice is. I would say it's the most addictive out of them all. Looking at it over there, it's just, you're up for days, energy, unstoppable. It's never ending.
Yeah.
You start stealing for money.
Yeah, I'm lucky I never went down that route, I guess. I think for me, if I couldn't make money on it, then I would not do it, which was another bad kind of trap to get stuck into, because then you're opening up the door to another realm of,
Yeah.
this is where I'm going. So I guess what stopped my habit was meeting someone that said, you need to show up for yourself. Who's going to show up for your kids if you can't show up for yourself? And those words stuck, and it was like, then I was at a crossroads. It was like, do I, go here? Do I turn right or turn left?
How chaotic was life when you were on that?
At the start it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it was quite it it kind of helped me function. 5 kids, busy mum, then 3 start running away, and things are kicking off everywhere, and it was just like an antidote for not only trying to deal with what I was internally, but dealing with the external pressures. The last 3 years of it because I was on off and on. I never really seen it as an addiction until my kids were removed, and that was probably when addiction hit full peak.
A lot of people convince themselves that I don't have an addiction until they realize they're in an addiction.
Yeah, that's right.
They can't function without it.
Yeah.
I remember I had Joel on, Joel,
Yep.
and he was telling me how he's, started kicking it off at work. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to have a little bit after work. And then all of a sudden he's 2 weeks in it, 3 weeks in it, 2 months, and a year later, 2 years, and just drag. And then you're in.
Yeah, well, that was the last 3 years because I was always 10-year addiction on and off. So I thought, oh yeah, that won't happen to me. This won't happen to me. And I guess my message is don't ever judge someone going through it because you'll soon experience it. Unfortunately, it's kind of the cycle of life.
It's a scary one. So many people are hooked onto this drug. It's unreal.
Yeah, I still see it. I still see it now, and for me, like, I guess my lesson in that is looking back, I didn't realize how much you can see it.
Ooh.
You think that, people can't see you. Yeah.
But it's all there.
Yeah.
How do you look at life now?
Now I look at life through, always try and shift a perspective. So because life's hard. Life is really hard. And for some people, it's harder than most. And I look at it like I choose my hard now. So if
I like that.
Yeah, I choose my hard. If it's important and it matters and it needs to be done, that's it. It's done. And I also look at it from like there are no problems, only challenges that you can find a solution for. You've just got to be willing to work towards the solution, and then there's no problem.
How do you deal with cravings these days?
Breathwork,
Okay.
meditation, the beach.
Because the cravings occur from time to time.
They will always be there. When my mum died 15 months ago,
Rest her soul.
my whole world fell apart because for the last 4 years of me being sober and I knew she was sick and she was dying, we had the bond that a child always wants with their parent because I couldn't have it.
As you started to feel that bond, it was ripped away from you.
Yeah, 100%.
How did that make you feel? Tell me about that journey.
Look, I soldiered through it, like I really did, and I guess part of the ADHD side is distract. But now that we're coming into it's been 15 months, the reality is there, and it hurts. My reality is what I longed for my whole life. I finally found it. And I felt happy and in my flow, and I was really getting out there doing my coaching and trying to brand myself and make a name, and then it was just like my world just done a backflip.
Ripped away.
Yeah. I'm still there, in the back, pushing, but the steps are smaller. They're not as grand, and I'm not always as high vibration as I was previously because I'm still working through that.
Death is strange.
Yeah, it's
Death is strange, especially the death of parents.
Yeah, it's not something that I had 10 deaths in my younger years. We had 10 deaths in a matter of 6 years.
That's a lot of deaths.
That's my grandparents, my uncles, my cousins. So I knew what it feels like. So I guess for me, I've always been able to what's my saying? I say
cope with it, would you say?
Yeah, but love in life, because love in death will make you see. What is it? Love in life will always be, or love in death. Yeah, I can't remember the saying right now, but yeah. So just show so much love in life for everybody, because otherwise you'll see it through love in death.
Jules, can we see if we can find that quote for her, please? What is it? Love
in life should always be what looks like love in
life. Let's have a look. This sounds interesting.
or love in death. Yeah, it's love in life should always be or something. I've got it on somewhere on my social media, but
Life, Jules. Right, life. Love in life. Yeah, let's have a look. Some quotes hit differently.
it's love in death will make you see what love in life should always be.
Wow, there it is. She found it.
Yeah.
That's a deep one.
Yeah, I've had that stay with me for over 20 years, because losing my grandparents, they were the only ones that did believe my childhood, but just didn't know where to go, how to navigate through that.
That's so deep. That, grandparents, the amount of love they could have for us.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I spoke to connected with their family, their mum and dad, but really connected with their grandparents.
Yeah, and I get it, because I'm a grandma now.
Yeah.
I get it.
You finally experience it.
Yeah, I get it. The love, like I say, and I love my kids. My kids are my world. Unconditional love. We are filled with it in my household, which is what I'm blessed with. But the love for my grandson is grander than the love for my kids.
I wonder why. So strange. I've asked a lot of grandparents that question. They're like, "Oh, we just love you more."
I think it's because you get to experience your child's child, not in a stressed state, because when you're a parent, you're always worried about, have they eaten enough? Are they sleeping properly? It's a constant worry. Whereas now, you're relaxed and you can enjoy. So when my daughter rings me and says, "I need you to come get your grandson. I need a break." Like, I'll go over there, and I understand that she needs a break, because it was something I didn't give myself very often. So yeah.
It's beautiful, and I think we got to look at death as a gift. I think it's a gift.
Yeah.
I think death it's a must. We can't escape it. We're all going to face death, but we all must prepare for it. And how we prepare for it? By being good people.
Yeah. Yep.
And
loving on those that are loving on you. For my grandson was born 3 weeks after Mum died. So there was my reason to smile, like, and that miracle of life and death, the way that cycle, like, I'm looking at my grandson thinking, have you got my mum's soul? Like, is that why she needed? Because my mum wanted to meet him. Like, she was fighting as much as she could to meet her first great-grandson. And then when he was born, it was just, I could see the blessings in those lessons.
How was the last moments experiencing with Mum?
They were hard.
Yeah.
They were hard. If ever I wanted to mask and numb, was when I was battling my brain to not go back to addiction. But I had the gym. The gym was saving my soul. Like, every time that, I had that urge, I'd hit the gym.
What was going through your mind in times?
How much life, how much struggle does one person need to go through life before it stops, before it gets easier? That's that's my biggest one. I constantly ask that question, what does it take? And then it was my daughter that said to me the other day, you choose this life before you're born. I'm like, excuse me? She goes, you've said it many a times, start listening to what you talk to us about. I'm like, yeah, all right. And I said, I can't, there are days where I just can't see that. Why would someone want to choose? But yeah, look, we're all spiritual beings.
You spiritual?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
I can connect with the other side when I allow myself to feel through. So I've been studying breath work, which there are certain breath works that you can, it's like, it's crazy. It's going to sound crazy. And they all say it's like woo.
I've seen it a few times, and I'm just like, what is going on there?
Yeah, it's like your soul leaving.
Screaming, they're crying, they're shaking. And shout out to Gaz, I think it's his name.
Gaz, right?
Yeah, Gaz. Shout out to Gaz. He's doing an incredible job with that stuff. But I'm like, what is going on there?
Yeah, well, I've done 9D breath work. I done it with your recovery group in Thomastown. So there's a friend of mine, Steph and Jake. They do 9D as well. I have done a 9D breath work with them, but I've had a breathwork coach online as well to study all different kind of breath works, not just the 9D side of it. And the breath work that I had, that elevation where the soul, connects with the other side.
So really, that deep?
That is crazy. Like at first I thought I was hallucinating, and because I wanted to connect. And then I got a message from my breathwork coach. His mum passed me a message,
Oh my God.
and then I remember thinking to myself, I need to get out of this breathwork. I need to remember it, because terrible memory. And so there was 3 messages, only 2 of them I could remember. So I'm like sending him all these voice memos saying, I don't know what the hell happened, but this just happened, and this person come and said this, this and that. And he sent me back a message like crying, saying thank you. That was the closure I needed. There's no way that you could have known what you told me.
This is crazy.
Which validated that for me.
Yeah, because I've been seeing a few people doing it, shaking and crying, and I'm like, is this real or what's going on? Is it the music that's been played? What's been played in the headsets?
So depending on, like, so the 9D breath work is where you're having like a voiceover or whatever, call it your inner conscience, someone that's obviously been through the kind of trauma that you have, so talking it through. And then there are releases with music, which is usually the music that'll
really touch the soul,
grab your heart. And
how crazy is the impact music can have on the soul? Oh man.
Yeah, no, I love music. I really love music. It's a good way to be in your feels, let it out, let it go.
What are some tools you've learned in your life?
To release what doesn't serve me, to be able to let it go, to have forgiveness for everything. That's right down to the person that affected my whole life.
Really?
I forgive him for, not for him, for me.
I don't know what to say about that.
Okay. People do spin out a little bit, but look, at the end of the day, I don't know what he went through in his childhood. I don't know what makes a person do what he done, because I will never understand it. So I had to learn to stop trying to understand it. People that say, oh, I did this because this is what used to happen to me as a child, or I'm this way because this is the way my parents were with me. I don't understand that. I don't understand that concept whatsoever. So even if, say, my kids say, oh, you yelled at me, so that's why I yelled at you. No. We all make a conscious choice on what actions we take towards other people. Make them good ones.
It's crazy. I remember there was a video I seen on YouTube where a Chinese man had forgiven his son's murderer in prison. Not in prison, in courtroom. And I was like, the amount of forgiveness and mercy you have to have in your heart to be staring at a murderer that's killed your child and to say, I forgive you. And then you across me sitting here and telling me you forgive for yourself
For
and you
myself.
forgive him. It's like that's a different kind of peace and harmony.
Yeah, I'm not going to take it to the grave. Otherwise, it'll stop me for the next half of my life. So I had to learn to forgive and just let it go. Justice prevailed, as I always believed it would, and just trust in the universe that, forgiveness.
What's some of the greatest lessons you learned through your addiction?
Not everybody's your friend.
Ooh.
Um,
Not everyone is your friend.
yeah. Not even the people that you went to bat for, you know. Done a lot of jail visits for a lot of people, and I don't speak to not one of them. Yeah. Looked after a lot of people financially in jail. And I don't have connection with not one single person.
How does that make you feel now?
Grateful. Grateful.
You learn.
I'm not in a lifestyle that doesn't serve me, That lifestyle didn't serve me. That wasn't my destiny. That wasn't where I was supposed to be. It was just a part of the story to get me to where I'm going.
Friends is a tricky one. Very, very tricky because you can be friends with someone with 18 years and then they stab you in the back. It's like, what? Why? Why, man? I knew you for 18 years.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't have many friends. I can probably count them on one hand. And my closest friends are my kids, really. And, even they can disappoint me sometimes. Do you know what I mean? You're like, you're my kids. You're not supposed to be a shithead like that. If I can say, you're supposed to have my back. But, you just choose your friends wisely. I have, like I said, 5 close friends.
When you're picking a friend, what are you looking for?
Connection, communication, someone that can, if you've got a problem or an issue or, someone that's willing to communicate it. If I've done something to offend you and which a lot of times I do because my mouth will get me in trouble, I'll just say things and someone will say, I can't believe you just said that to them. And we're like, what? And then it'll take like one of my kids to say, you know how that come off? Because my brain doesn't register. I'm just telling you how I see it or how I think it or feel it, whatever. It doesn't come across as how that might portray onto somebody. So people that can get that is usually those that I'll relate to. And that don't have the same problem. Do you know what I mean? That they can say whatever it is that's on their mind. No judgment. No judgment.
What are some of the people you work with now?
I work with a couple of older women that have gone through struggles. Some don't. They're not able to communicate or verbalize or tell their story. So it's just trying to help them find their inner peace and stop chasing, happiness. Stop chasing, because happiness is in the small steps, the journey, the actions that you slowly take. So yeah, it's mainly older women. When I say older women, around my age, and I've got one lady in her 60s that, God, she's come a long way.
How does that make you feel when you sit down and talk to some of these people and help them?
Good. I feel that I've found my calling. Even on the days where I think, I'm not where I want to be, but yeah, I'm taking the steps to be where I need to be, or this is where I'm meant to be.
Break down how you got clean. Break it down to me. How was the journey of finally saying to yourself, where did it come to an end? Be like, I need to change, and walk me through it.
All right, so I had my kids removed in 2018, and within the first 3 months of them being removed, I was clean. I had to fight the system, and they'd lost, paperwork, and the struggle was real. Like, I had to fight the system. They'd lost my paperwork. We went to court. We kept going to court, and they kept saying, "No, you're not getting them back now." I booked into rehab, didn't show up. I started working with a drug and alcohol worker, and it was her words that said, if you're not going to show up for yourself, who's going to show up for your kids if you're not showing up for yourself?
Was that Jess?
Yeah,
Shout out to Jess.
Jess Matthews.
Shout out to Jess. What a human being.
Yeah. Oh, look, I am, and will forever be grateful for her, for those
woman.
words.
What
those
a
words.
woman.
And I could relate. She could relate.
Yeah.
Being, walked that path. So it was nice to find someone that had walked that journey, now in the position she was, giving back to community by the likes of people like myself, and helping us navigate our way through rehab. Yeah, she's been a massive support, even till now. Like,
yeah, How was the journey getting off the drugs? Oh, especially the ice.
Well, when I was in Odyssey House, I started seeing people that had kind of just fallen off, and obviously they're coming from jail. And so for me, it was a bit scary, because there were a couple of people that are like, "Oh, the last time I saw you was when we got locked up," which started to make me scared in a sense. I'm like, well, I didn't have nothing to do with that, That's not who I am, what I stand for. So it made me fear being inside there. It really made me fear. And then Mum had a turn. So I was 3 months into my sobriety, and thriving through there, but I still had that inner fear that, oh, look, I'm going to make enemies everywhere I go. I've never really been one to make a lot of friends. And Mum had a turn while I was in there, and I was then on the balancing scale. Do I stay and complete the program because I went in saying, yeah, I'm going to complete this 18 months standing on my head,
until you face it. I'm like, whoa, this isn't easy.
Yeah, no, I struggled. I really struggled inside Odyssey, but the promise that I made to myself was, so when Mum got sick, I left. So I was 4 months in there. I made the promise to myself that was the first and last time I will ever go to rehab, or I will ever put myself in a position to have to.
Because of Mum.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I could either show her that I was okay and I could live my life and we're going to get through this, or I'm just going to be a drug addict.
Was she aware of your drug addiction?
Yeah, they were.
What was she saying? Did she talk to you normally?
Nah, she never actually said anything. She wasn't big on the old communication. The door was always open, but I was never really trusted. So I guess it was in the actions, no trust. Always invited to family gatherings and stuff, but if you're the black sheep somewhere, you're just the black sheep. That's just how you are, how you feel, how it works. And I've always said it throughout my family, and I don't, never gonna fit in. So it's because I was born to stand out.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's normally, sometimes it's what our parents say that hits us hard, especially in a time of sickness, but you decided to make that decision and progress forward and quit.
Yeah.
How was your journey after, when you had left Odyssey? How was the battles there for you?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad in the sense of I had a direction. I had a plan. I wanted to have my kids back before Mum passed away. I wanted to be back in my own place. I wanted to be like I said, giving back to the community and making sure that I was being the person I knew I was born to be. It didn't matter about how anyone else saw me now. It was how I saw myself.
For the people that are battling addictions, what is some advice and experience would you tell them?
I would say to lean into those that have walked the path. I did have a good saying for this. It was don't follow people that don't know where don't follow people that haven't been where you've been. So, follow people in the direction you want to go. So if you see someone, or, there's a lot of people on social media now, down using the recovery route, follow them people. Listen, take advice. Reach out to those that have been where you are.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
And it's a long, bumpy journey. And it's a scary journey, but it can be full of fruits at the end of it.
100%. 100%.
How do you deal with your darkest moments?
Look, I still have them every now and then, but I go to the gym. I make sure because,
exercise.
Even if, and like, man, I've put on that much weight and struggled to maintain the weight, but I just go to the gym, sweat it out in whichever way, shape, or form. When I walk out of there, I'm feeling amazing, feeling like $1 million.
What's something you'll tell mum?
Pardon?
What's something you'll tell your mum? Now that all this time's gone past, and she's resting somewhere beautiful.
I made it. I made it. I did it. And she sacrificed a lot for us kids. Thanks for being a good mum. Thanks for teaching me what I didn't want in life to be someone that I do want to be. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
I get this sense of that you really had a deep love and affection for her in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
really.
I always loved my mum. I just couldn't understand why she would put a man before her kids. Why you would listen. So again, this will come to like me doing the work on the trust side of things, but how do you put something else before your kids? I can't understand that. Although I did it. Does that make sense? So it was kind of like a bittersweet pill because I got it eventually, which then led to forgiveness. For she didn't know any better for whatever reasons for her, but for me, I had to say, Mum, you didn't. So when it all come out, Mum would cry and say, I'm so sorry I didn't listen. I'm so sorry I didn't believe you. I feel so guilty. And I just said, that's not your guilt to carry. It is what it is. It happened. It's done. He's in jail. Now we can just be free.
Walking down the road now, and you turn to your left and you see 18-year-old Naomi. What do you tell her?
To just keep going. Keep going. The journey will forever be hard. Choose your heart. Choose your heart. Because life is hard. But if you choose not to do things, you're not going to reap the benefits of what's on the other side of that.
Yeah. Life is definitely hard.
Yeah.
But I think you need to struggle in order to understand how beautiful it is.
Well, there ain't no sunshine without rain, There ain't no rainbows.
Yeah. That's very true. That's very, very true. What is some advice you got for the young youth that are out there, the listeners that are struggling, that are in their rooms alone, battling with addictions, but are down loneliness?
Find someone to talk to. Like, lean into communities because things do get better. It's really trying to stay connected and communicate. You might talk to 9 people, they don't believe you or they don't want to listen, but the 10th person might. So just keep trying to communicate. Whatever it is for you, communicate. It is truly the key to being able to work through a lot of what you're going through.
You know, you've been a mother. Why do you feel like a lot of these young kids are very disconnected from their parents?
It's funny. I was just having these conversations because parents are too busy in the grind. And I'm not blaming the parents because, I'm a single mum. I've got to work 2 jobs to
Survive.
make sure the kids have got what they need and whatever. It's stop from time to time. Stop and pause and spend the time together, I know there are some families that they're text messaging each other from the same house. Get up.
Yeah.
Walk into the room and have that conversation.
That's wild. Give me a cup of water. Texting,
Mate, my son will do it from time to time. I'll just send it like a question mark, question mark, question mark. Guaranteed he'll come and then ask.
Yeah.
You don't play that. But yeah, that's the disconnect.
There's so many disconnected children.
Yeah, that's the disconnect. Like I said, I'm blessed to a degree with mine. They're at home, they're all good, they're not getting into trouble, they're not out doing what most kids their ages are. So blessed. But it's just about and being able to support them. I've seen what Jolie is doing with the young boys with the boxing and just get involved when these events take place. Get involved. I tried to bring my youngest along, and he wouldn't be a part of it, and he's 13. But my 17-year-old, she come and volunteered.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
You at peace?
I am. Yep. I surely am.
What makes you feel like you're at peace? What is it about life?
I've done the work. I've found self-love. I'm not always happy, but I've found inner peace, inner happiness, and it's everything that comes from within is what we continuously search for, and sometimes you get so busy you don't take that time for yourself. And another one is self-worth.
Oh, self-worth,
yeah. Yeah, when you learn your value in the world, you then learn that you can able to give out, and that's where I'm at the minute.
How was it forgiving yourself in life? Did you ever have to forgive yourself?
Yeah, 100%.
How was that?
Well, that's kind of in part of my mirror work training is I have to every day find 7 things to forgive myself for.
Tell me about this a little bit.
All right, so a big part of the self-love journey is to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself 7 things you're proud of, 7 things you forgive yourself for, and 7 things that you're committed to achieving, doing, whatever that looks like for you. And the idea is to connect with yourself in the mirror, which is pretty bloody powerful when you do it continuously.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, it's a really powerful if you want to connect it with yourself on a deeper level, to be able to look at yourself in the eyes and tell you what you're proud of, what you forgive, and what you're wanting to achieve in life.
Yeah, a lot of us are very disconnected from ourselves.
Yeah.
We've forgotten who we are, your identity.
Yeah, I highly recommend to give it a try. And it's hard when you first start.
Oh, yeah, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
So,
because when you look in the mirror, when you're looking at yourself most days, you're looking and you'll find a flaw, or you'll be like, oh, my hair's not this way, or, whatever. But like for me, it was because I'd put on heaps of weight. It was like, oh, God. No. But now when I look in the mirror, I like what I see. And what it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or feels, because I've learned to connect with my heart. Yeah.
Very powerful. Very, very powerful. The connection with your heart. Because, yeah, like I said, a lot of us are so disconnected. People don't even love themselves anymore. They've lost that love.
Yeah. Oh, you see it in relationships and everything of today, you know.
What have you learnt from relationships?
Look, I don't know. It's been a long time. I've been 10 years single and working on myself, and um, you know, probably the last 3 years I've just like reconnected on a friendship level with my kids' because he's made the change within himself, you know, to do the right things in life and follow the right footsteps. Um, Again, I think just communicate. There's not too many long time relationships that I know. Like everyone's separated, divorced these days. It's not.
I actually was looking into this, the statistics of it, and I was like, okay, the divorce rate must be high, but it really isn't the divorce rate that's high. It's just people aren't getting married.
Yeah. Yep. I've got 3 out of my 5 that say they'll never get married, and I'm like, "Oh, what have I done? You know, like, is this another karmic lesson? Or you're like, what have I done?
Yeah, look at this. Let's have a look at this. Australian divorce rate's dropped to its lowest level in 50 years. See?
Wow.
We think that divorce rate is high, but it's actually not. It's at its lowest because people don't want to get married.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, my girls have only just said it to me not so long ago, and I'm like, what have I done? You know, trying to be an independent woman, what has that taught you, that you don't need a man or you don't need to be married? But when really it's kind of the fairy tale for a female, and
It gets lonely though.
uh, yeah,
You know?
look,
Loneliness is good because you can build yourself. But after a while, it gets lonely.
yeah, I have those moments.
You know, the late nights, Naomi, the late nights where you're just like, oh, this is pretty lonely.
Yeah, I have those moments. I'm blessed I've still got kids at home.
You're
to
lucky,
keep,
yeah.
You know, like maybe in another 10 years when the kids have all, you know, flown the coop and I don't have to, I really have to just sit with me, then maybe it's, um, when I think of relationships now, I think, how would I even fit one in? How
It's
would
hard, yeah.
you make time, you know, working 2 jobs? When I'm not working, I'm parenting, cooking, coaching, you know,
You
like,
know, the single life for a mother is very, people don't understand. I have so much respect, especially when they got children. It is so hard. It is so hard.
yeah,
You know, like you're working 2 jobs,
yeah,
you know, taking care of all the kids, then you're cooking, then the cleaning, then the you know, the all the stuff you need to do at home. It's like a lot of respect for you for that because it's so difficult.
yeah, it is. It does get tough. Like today, for example, I did ask my kid's dad to come into the hospital because my daughter's in hospital to just sit with her. She's 17, so she can stay there on her own, but just, you know,
VIP treatment.
right. And then, you know, he couldn't be there, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I said to my daughter, I'm going to go do this. She's like, yeah, I'll be fine.
Shout out
But
to her. She's
yeah,
going to be fine.
yeah, she's going to be fine. She knows she's going home, so.
A message from you, Naomi, to the world.
Be the reason somebody smiles today. You may just be their only reason to smile, or quite possibly the last smile they ever smile.
Woo! That is a good one. That is a good one. And I hope many people that are out there, you know, have learned something great from your inspiring story. It was deep, emotional, but you are here today.
Yeah, yeah.
We're here today. You've bet the odds. I bet you back then you didn't think you'd be here today.
Nah, not a chance. Not a chance. This has been an awesome experience and a great opportunity for me to say yes to myself yet again
Yeah.
on conquering through something that, like I said, had nervous energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Smashed it. Imagine 3 years ago, you wouldn't think you'd be here.
not a chance. And would I have talked so openly? I probably was on the verge of, you know, being able to talk freely, but not only on the surface level.
Yeah. Better all them odds.
Yep.
Now you're sober, working for greatness, and keep conquering, keep saving people's lives, keep helping. And I'd always value your time, and I appreciate your time for coming on today.
Thank
It was
you.
an absolute honor. It was a beautiful discussion.
Thanks, Ahmed.
So I hope you enjoyed that, and the listeners out there, do know that if you are in trouble and problems, do reach out to Naomi.
Yeah.
She's an incredible person. I'll make sure I leave all your links down there. And keep being inspired. Stay staunch, stay real, and stay away from drugs because they will only bring you down.
Yeah, nothing good comes from drugs ever.
Especially, there's a lot of people that say, oh, weed is, no, that's where it starts.
Yeah,
That's where it starts.
Nothing good ever comes from it.
It traps you. It's a prison. Marijuana is a prison, man.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
You're trapped.
It's just your mind too, it's a blocker for your mind, and you don't understand it. And I didn't understand it ever. I used to just think, no, it's God's plant, he put it in the garden. But like I said, once I finally was clean of it, because I go through time of being off it, it really numbs your mind.
Yeah. And this is where people get stuck, is they're like, I'm just a casual smoker. We're not afraid about the casual smoking. We're afraid of the time when you fall and you're in that hole and you use that as a coping mechanism.
Yeah, which doesn't take very long. That does not take very long.
And that's when it becomes an addiction.
I'll say 3 months. Give it 3 months from the time you pick up whatever vice, the way you want to smoke it. That's it. It's got you.
And the road is a new road from there.
Yeah, you've got to choose you every time. Choose you, because the drugs will just take you away from everything that you care about. Everything.
Absolute pleasure having you on today, Naomi. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.